All right, welcome back. And now the show is interactive. Of course, the hashtag is Breakfast Daily. The WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. Now, I've been joined this morning on the set by the host of Footprints, Samuel Atamensa. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm well. Yourself?
I'm very, very good.
Great.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yes,
man.
good to see you too.
Where's Prima?
Prima is gallivanting around the city somewhere. She's going to bring us some reports very soon.
Nice one. Nice one.
So we want to get into some conversations. Yesterday, we had a very, heart-wrenching report, actually, from the coastal belt. We were looking at the Keta, the Adan and Keta areas, and the seawater rising up, washing certain areas away, and actually, people's houses getting flooded and all of that. We have a report for you by our colleague Umaru Sanda Amadou. Let's take a look at this report. We'll come back and we'll get into some conversations.
Violent sea waves, and what we know is that when they rush to the shore, they beat a hasty retreat. No trouble caused. Except when you come to Aklabanya, things change. These waves violently cross the boundary between the earth and the sea and move into the community. The canoes and boats that have been parked on the beach, these violent waves overnight swept them into the community, and the water makes its way further into the community, leaving its wake devastation. And that is a story of the tidal waves that have hit many coastal communities in Ghana, including the Volta region and in the western part of the country, central region in particular. Let me go to canoe owners who have the first contact with the sea waves when they arrive.
These tidal waves do happen previously, but this one that happened, we never experienced it before.
Why? How?
It is very serious that it entered the whole community. People cannot sleep. Buildings are collapsed seriously. So we don't know what happened.
As fishermen, how did this or how does this affect you?
Good. In the fishing side, when it happens like this, you cannot go for fishing.
Why?
Or you cannot cross the waves to the other side and enter your boat to go for fishing. So all that we have as an our income, you have to depend on it. If you finish, then there's nothing else.
I want you to talk to the government. What do you want to be done for you?
Oh, I want the government to come to our aid, especially sea defense is all what we are in need of. If they give us money, it will spend it, it will not aid it. But the sea defense, it will save the people and save the community as well.
So you have the signs of devastation. The football pitch that used to be here now looks like a pond. You can only identify it with two goalposts. Behind me is the Aklabanya DA Basic School, the District Assembly School here, where children in this neighborhood attend. But today, being a Monday, you should have expected them in school. But it's not happening. Instead, the children are loitering. Let me speak to one community member who is incidentally also a teacher here.
For the school yesterday, it was that severe because the whole place was flooded. Yes. So when it's happening like that, we have to take a coverage of it. And we know how we'll do our best for the children not to come to school today.
So there's no school. Do you think there will be school tomorrow?
Oh, God willing, tomorrow there will be school. Because much of the students are from the affected places.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's difficult for them to even come. The school itself is problematic and they can also come. How do you reckon this would affect academic activities?
When it happens like that, the children will not be able to come to school. Yes. Because their parents will not allow them to come to school.
You don't think it's safe?
Yes, please.
As a community member, what do you think should be done?
What I believe that the government should help us with the sea defense.
Now, the neighboring or the company that is developing the salt concession here in Adan, the Songo Salt, the Electrochem Ghana, has deployed an excavator to help remove the silt out of the water to see if the water can flow back into the sea. Tell us about what you're trying to do here.
We are dredging so that we will make way for the water that has gotten into the town to flow to a proper outfall. So as you can see, the excavator is trying to desilt the sand, remove the sand that has silted and block the pathway of the water. The pathway of the water so that the water can flow easily.
Is this something you're doing at a fee or you're doing it free of charge?
Oh, we are just helping out the community.
So this is someone's compound. They're having to move from the ground. I go. Why is it up here?
The water has flooded us. I don't know where to sit down. That's why I'm sitting here.
If there was no water here, where would you have been around this time? Where would you have been?
I'll be in the house or in the room.
Where's your house or room?
This is the house. All the house is flooded.
But you have enough water now. It's like a swimming pool.
Oh no, it's not a swimming pool. It's not a swimming pool.
How is it affecting you? How is it worrying?
It worries all our Disney. Our belong in the house or in the room, so we don't know where to go.
So where did you sleep last night?
I went to different places.
Can I go and see your room? Can you go and show me your house?
Yes.
So how is this the first time this is happening here?
No, it happened before.
And this time to the same thing.
This time it's very wet. I can say it's wetter.
All right, so there you have it. This is a part of the report by our colleague Umaru Sanda Amadu. It's the almost perennial challenges with this tidal waves, washing into people's homes and all of that. Of course, we know that a lot of the coastal areas are low-lying, and many of them are actually below sea level. I don't know what we can do permanently to sort of fix this. Everybody's talking about sea defense. I mean, the people in the community are saying, don't give us money, build a sea defense. That's what we want. But it's a lot of money.
I mean, what has to be done has to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, if by the government's development plan, what we need there is a sea defense wall, then we have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what it is. Because in days past, there would have been a call for the people to be relocated.
Yeah.
But in 2022, you can't just wake up and relocate people. I mean, that's who they are. Where they find themselves actually define who they are.
Yeah.
And they're just not going to cede that, geographical location for anything. You heard some of them speaking to Umaru Sanda, saying that the woman who's an 80-year-old woman said in her lifetime, this has happened 3 times.
Yes.
And, and this is the most devastating one. Yeah. So that should tell you that it's something that they are familiar with and it's part of them. But so should they be swallowed with it? The answer is no.
Yeah.
So I think that the question of raising sea defense walls must be taken, more seriously, because the other day was Keta, and then it moved to what's the name of the village, and then now it's come to Aklabanya. It's coming closer to Accra. Yeah. I mean, if we woke up one day and saw that the whole of Accra Central is flooded, that will send a stronger signal. Yeah. But if it's drawing close to Accra, then we should be on the lookout.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to also just suggest that mangroves, because a lot of the times you find that the mangroves have been used for firewood over years, for many, many years, 30, 40 years. People have been cutting down mangroves and using them to, for firewood and all that. But that actually disrupts what, the mangrove does to protect the shore.
Mangroves normally will grow in places where you don't have human activities.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm not so sure about mangroves with particular reference to this one, because you notice how close the community itself is to the sea. Yeah. Very close. Yeah. And the canoes were washed, and where did they find themselves? In the community. So it looks like something which is very close. But be that as it may, government should just find a way of intervening, because we can't let it like just be there like that. No, it is not a proper thing to do.
Interestingly, yesterday the president was speaking on BBC with Peter Okoche, and very interesting conversations, talking about, and Peter always goes hard, asking probing questions and all of that.
You probing or provocative? I'm sure. I think he was just trying to provoke the president to say something negative. I didn't see that as probing. Okay. Because there's nothing he said that is not out there already.
Okay. Okay.
This is me talking.
Okay. No, so I guess I guess yes, I understand your choice of words there. I mean, provocative is more like a. Let's take a look at what happened when the president sat down with the BBC.
If I look at the Ghanaian economy at the moment, it's doing. I mean, let's just be honest. It's doing terribly.
Not terribly.
Well, your inflation in your country, inflation in Ghana.
I don't know the economy in the world that's doing well. Tell me
in Ghana,
where you are here.
Inflation in Ghana.
The highest inflation.
Well, 15.7%. The Ghanaian cedi has fallen 20% on the dollar. The worst after Russia, which has a lot of sanctions against it.
It's began to firm up. It has begun to firm up, and we're seeing the cedi systematically appreciating against the dollar.
People still can't employ. I was just reading today. People in the hospitality industry that you're pushing so hard. Having to lay their staff off. We've got taxi driver unions threatening strikes because of spiraling fuel costs. I mean, it doesn't look like a place that I want to go and put my money.
Where will you put your money in the world today? Where will you put your money? In Britain, which is suffering the worst standard of living statistics for over 30 years? Is it? Oh, I think let's situate ourselves correctly. The world is going through very difficult times. Ghana is no exception. Nigeria is no exception. There's no country in the world that is escaping the ravages of both COVID-19 and also the impact of the Ukraine. But what you need to look at are where are the elements being put on the ground that look beyond the COVID and beyond the Russian-Ukraine war. And I think you'll find that in Ghana, the recovery program that we have is one that is considered very credible, and it is what is going to give us the opportunity to come out of this period a stronger economy. And it is that future that we're looking at when we're attracting people.
Let's talk about one of the structures that you say you've put in place. The e-levy, a lot of people are calling it a stealth tax on people who already are impoverished. It's a 1.5% tax on people who do business on their mobile phones. So if they use their mobile phones to send money or to...
The digital economy, the mobile economy.
Yes, but you're taxing people on money that has already been taxed.
Is the biggest economy is emerging as the biggest economy in the country, and for a long period has not had any taxation at all. So it is important now that they also come into the net. Our country has one of the lowest tax to GDP ratios of any country in West Africa and of an equivalent economy. The ECOWAS area, the general average today, tax to GDP average is about 18%. Ghana, we're at 13%. So it's as if you're talking about a country which is already overtaxed, if anything at all, is undertaxed.
Okay, let me take you up on that point. On your low tax ratio to GDP. I'm just going to read this quote to you. It's from John Kwache, who I'm sure you might know is the Director of Research at the Accra-based Institute for Economic Affairs. He says there are several loopholes in our tax system that if they are plugged, we'll be able to raise our tax to GDP ratio to something like 20% from the 12% that you're talking about. Are you speaking to experts like him?
First of all, there's a recognition
that he says that there's no need for the e-levy.
Well, that's his point of view.
He's an expert.
But he's an expert. There are experts in government as well, and we think it's necessary, and that's the reason why we...
You think it's necessary to tax people who are already impoverished?
They're not already impoverished. We're talking about people. We're talking about taxing an industry, and transactions where a lot of value is being created, and we want to also bring that value into government coffers. I think that is something that is there's nothing so, and the levy is not Ghana, it's the only country that has something like a mobile attack, a digital tax. Many countries, they will not like it.
Because they're already taxing people who do business online, and then you are taxing as well.
People never like taxes. I don't know any group of people, especially businesses, when taxes are brought to them that like it.
When you hear all these stories, Mr. President, I mean, Ghana was one of the rising stars of, the economic recovery of Africa, so to speak. But when you hear about all these issues with the economy now, what exactly went wrong?
Nothing has gone wrong. We're part of those who have been very badly affected by what has gone on in the last 2 years. Until 2020, since I came into office, 2017, 2018, 2019, the beginning of 2020, we were growing our economy at about 7%, the GDP growth rate. One of the fastest growing economies in the world was the Ghanaian economy. Even in the crunch year of 2020, when the economies of the world dived, Ghana, we still managed a positive rate of growth because the fundamentals of our economy are strong. But it has been a difficult task for all the economies of the world. I think it is important that when you're making the kind of provocative statements that you're making, that you situate yourself. You speak as if you're living in the same time as you and I, where the world economy as a whole has gone through very difficult times. And there are several things that we're doing, which is in the line of being able to pick up our economy again. I have no doubt that next year, if you were to come and speak to me like you're doing today, we will have a different set of facts for us to look at.
All right, so that was the president on the BBC. So he made very interesting points. I think the president acquitted himself quite well in terms of, defending his decisions and his choices as far as how he's moved forward in running the country. But he also used the term that you used. He says that he called Peter Okocha's questionings provocative.
Of course, obviously. Yeah. I mean, look, the BBC itself has an issue, and maybe I should state that the BBC Africa has lost total relevance on the continent. It's now irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. 25 years ago when we started this business, speaking out was a dangerous thing. Okay, and so naturally people looked up to the BBC to, if you like, speak on our behalf. The things that we can't say, the BBC will say. You understand? Yeah. But what do we have? Now we say any and everything we want to say, and that's what I mean by its relevance. So at times they use some of these provocative interviews to, get the attention that they so badly deserve. So, I mean, it's okay if that's how they want to do it. Having said that, Peter Okocha's, he stated what are public known facts. No two ways about that. Yeah. But the context of his questioning is where I can debate some of them. For instance, he says that why are you taxing impoverished people? Who are the impoverished people? How do you sit in London yourself as somebody who traveled, who was picked from an FM station in Nigeria to London and refer to Ghanaians as impoverished? I don't know which context he means by impoverished people. And why are you taxing them? I don't know whether when impoverished people go and buy stuff in town, they don't pay the tax on it because they're impoverished, or when they travel, they don't pay transportation. He talked about hotels and hospitality industry. The world over, COVID has devastated hospitality industry. When I heard him, I'm now listening to the full thing. When I heard him, I just went back to a message from a friend in South Africa who ran transportation services. Anytime I'm in Joburg or Cape Town, he's the one who organizes it. And I asked, how is everything going? He said, unfortunately, I'm not in any job. Since the pandemic, everything has stopped. And I said, so what next? He said, I'm still around though and assist where and when I can with transportation.
Wow.
Okay, so fast. So at the moment, I've just been looking and searching for an opportunity because the hotel where I was working closed down.
Wow.
And have indicated that they'll reopen as a medical center.
Wow.
So I'm just saying that, these are not unique to Ghana.
No.
It is whether government is actually putting the right policies and actions in place to resolve the challenge.
Yeah.
As for the challenge, everybody knows that the city took a downward turn, but when it happened, what did government do? How did they react? You understand?
Yeah.
So facts, yes, but the context of his questioning, I think, was a bit condescending.
Yeah.
And if that makes him a proper or the better journalist, then congratulations to him.